Oh, greetings. This is Interstellar Radio. Today's date is September 27th, 2020. Aria
Yes.
Retro. Greetings.
Greetings, everyone.
All right. Great. Good to have you back.
Yeah.
So, all right. And jump into the topics. Should be interesting.
Yeah. So our first topic today is going to be the Attorney General Bill Barr. He's I believe he's appointed under Trump. But even if you guys Google him just a moment, he kind of looks like a reptilian. So of course, kind of his origins are Orion and reptilian based.
Mm-hmm.
I see him sometimes on a craft, sometimes a mothership, but sometimes a smaller Orionid craft. Sort of a dark gray charcoal with low lighting inside. Reptilians, I usually find them in lower lighting. They kind of have sensitive eyes. I see him actually almost. He has a Zeta on the table. You actually get a lot of information from Zetas.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not in the most kosher sense of the way he gets information, but um, also see him not just as Zetas, but also younger women. So I see him as kind of like almost a cannibal. They're not really going into detail, but
Jeez.
I do see sort of a harvesting of information.
Mm.
Kind of like he has his own way of getting like drugs. He is kind of connected to, not directly connected, but he is connected to the cloning operations. He knows about the cloning operations in the deep state military, but from what I'm seeing, he enables them, he supports them. Although he does not get them directly, him being in charge actually enables them to do what they will. A lot of the human that he then taken up from the ship, I'm seeing. Yes, some of them are orphans. Um, Although I'm seeing mostly white women. But a few protesters as well. But mostly orphans and people who had been disappearing over a long time. Um, I see his crew active over the Pacific Ocean, off the coast of California. So yes, he is a Orion being. He came from Orion. He is sort of a man behind the curtain, so to speak, for a lot of our government. It is his territory, so to speak, as Orion being there, often sometimes territorial in nature. So he does not work. He does not work with what he calls competition. His competition is largely other Orion beings. So I see him as far as his nature is working alone most of the time and controlling them behind the scenes. He does have some uh, some success of mind control over Trump as well. Although Trump is a bit harder to mind control. Trump himself is actually a clone. You can see how he changed his way
Yeah.
he's thinking, how he has shifted on a lot of things.
Yeah.
He has been cloned, and
Has to be.
even Melania herself had been cloned as a child.
Oh, his son too. The new kid,
What's that?
the teenager kid, his kid. I imagine he's cloned too. Maybe not, but
What I'm seeing, like Melania
mm-hmm.
has even like 10 years old was cloned.
Hmm.
Um, John himself was cloned later, around I'm hearing 30, his 30s was when he was cloned, when the clone was brought out. But they've been holding on to the clone and the controls until now, of course. They let him, or at least a healthy version of him, out for the campaign, but they're now keeping him under control. The broadcast, the great policies.
Yeah, for his age, he does really good speeches. He's on the attack. He's doing good though. Like Biden, just was barely there.
Yes, that is some of the original Trump genetics, you might say. But
Yeah.
if you look at him today, this is his past. You hear him speaking today, and it's very monotone, right?
Mm-hmm.
He speaks almost like he doesn't want to be there, like he's just getting out of bed. Um, that is kind of the clone energy there. That is sort of them tampering down and controlling him.
Hmm.
They're kind of sapping his life force in the process. But Trump is typically hard to control. But the clone energy, uh, they're able to kind of get control on him, kind of bridle him, but not enough.
Mm-hmm.
But still, they don't really need as much from him as long as the right people are in charge behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like Bill Barr. A lot of your cloning process, especially with public figures, your natural human has a way of healing from their traumas. They have a way of resisting. Your clones are kind of shut down. They don't put up much of a resistance. They don't learn from their traumas as much. A lot of their trauma memories are buried and colored out and obfuscated. Um, for example, you may have been, if you had been sexually attacked when you were a child, and your clone may not remember that quite so much, or they may not remember the details of it. Their clone has little to no recourse of healing from those memories. It is tucked and hidden. It's muted. Um, just like the clones themselves, they don't have enough vital energy that they don't farm naturally like a human would, so much as they have the weaker grip on their own reality. They have a weaker grip on their physical form as well. So there is a bit of uncanniness when you see someone who's cloned, and that's just part of the process. But yeah, when you have traumas as a natural human, a non-cloned human, you had an easier time releasing those traumas and healing from them and understanding them than you would as a clone. The clone just is on autopilot most of the time. Um, I do see that, especially with Melania as well. Sorry. There's a lot in it, the Trump energy, the Trump family that is cloned and shut down. Any questions?
With it's kind of, well, just another cloning topic. What about human traffickers? Those that are trafficking humans, those are clones. They're the ones that gather people. Some are, seems.
Similar, there are some clones, although not as much as you might think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people who are getting into human trafficking, a lot of the grunt workers, I could say, even they are not always clones.
Mm-hmm.
They're controlled in a much more, I'll say, nightmarish way. A lot of them have themselves have been, in a way, trafficked and controlled. A lot of the grunts, you'd say, who work for these kidnapping organizations, these groups, are themselves prisoners in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need. Well, sometimes a prisoner can be better than a clone. Um, they they break the spirit and the sense of self that the grunt workers would have. It's a natural, painful process. Um,
Yeah, why the agents and CIA are clones and the
some,
Clone War.
some of them, yes, possibly. But when you get back into trafficking, I'm seeing even some of them have trafficked their own family members.
I imagine so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the brother has been, say, in a gang situation, and they had to kidnap their sister or their mother. They've been forced, they're forced to kind of go down the dark path, and so it breaks them. That's when you have a trafficker, someone who's lower in the totem pole. They're essentially made to be broken, not
Mm-hmm.
cloned. Yeah.
Hmm. Of a Bill Barr, what's I see like a lot of snakes around him. See him as like
Mhm.
a reptilian leader. Definitely Orion. So yeah, as you made that Orion connection, that's where you
Mhm.
started feeling that. Yeah, it
Yes.
makes sense. Makes sense. Oh, damn. Yeah, he's kind of scary, actually.
He is only one man,
Hmm.
but yes, he does have a. Actually, he does have clones working for him, disguised as him,
Hmm.
but they're kind of connected. There's one version of him that's on a ship, working with human and alien uh, traffickers. Like at the end, the Zeta and that younger woman trapped to beds. A lot of it is for an exchange of information. Um, I see one
Yeah,
of them.
yeah, go ahead.
One of them acts as kind of an alien ambassador. To some degree, they're not getting much detail, but there is one that is out there, sort of as a errand boy, it seems.
Hmm.
And of course, there's one that's in the U.S. Government right now. So, but yet they're all connected.
You said he's running the Trump presidency, or he plays a big role in it.
Yes, he does run the. He plays a part in running the Trump presidency, but yes, a large part of the Trump presidency is connected to Bill Barr.
Okay.
To some degree, Mitch McConnell is too, though Mitch McConnell is more of an independent actor.
Yeah, he's more low level. You think
Yeah,
Mitch is a clone? Probably.
Mitch. I see Mitch as like a rogue Agarthan being,
Hmm.
or it feels like.
Yeah.
They call him a turtle, so so that could be part of it. But
You might have some of that. Okay, all right. You want to go on to
Mhm.
Next topic.
Yeah, so it's a topic that kind of jumped around there. Uh, oh, Edison and Tesla. That's right.
Yeah, Tesla. Tesla's the main one.
Okay. Tesla is a time traveler, right? Yes.
Or Tesla is did you really invent all that stuff? Did you
Hmm.
invent all those inventions? We can go through the time traveler stuff too if you want. Whatever.
I think Tesla inventing different things. It's kind of hard to understand, but I do see him
Yeah.
different beings. I see him like an elf being as well.
Hmm.
Um, I see Tesla. Tesla is more the many beings at once. It seems like it's like I see like elf beings, Syrian, Illyrian. Um, there's almost like a Tesla council acting as one person.
Hmm.
What it feels like, but like he didn't even originate from this universe in some ways.
Yeah.
So he carries knowledge from different universes, different
Mhm.
worlds. Um, but I'm trying to understand this, what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's a tough energy.
He is very slippery and astral, that's for sure. But yes, I do see. Hold on. There's lots of information here that I have to access. Yes, I would say he is a not so much a time traveler, although time plays a part of it. But it also a dimensional jumper at sorts.
Hmm.
Um, when I look at him, I see kind of like a hollowness. Like I don't see him the same way I'd see a regular person or
Hmm.
even a clone. But I see kind of like a strange hollowness. Like he's kind of everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Hmm. Yeah, he's a strange one, like a paradox being or something.
He is, yeah. Um, but he does come from different dimensions, different realities as well. He is a dimensional jumper. He kind of comes from everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah.
He comes from somewhere that they're not. It's not really making itself clear. Uh,
You almost feel like Doc Brown and Back to the Future is kind of connected to Tesla in some way. At least I got that energy from that.
um, Tesla seems a bit more grounded. Like
Yeah.
he always knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh.
he kind of did most of his work, and I feel like his workplaces were varied, and
Hmm.
he had some impressive workplaces. That yes, I would say Tesla is a slippery name to understand.
Yeah, he
um,
is.
but yes, he is a dimensional jumper from what I can see. Um, but he may also be more than one being inhabiting the same human body. If that makes sense.
What about his inventions? Do you think he brought some of those inventions from the future to other people, or planted some of those inventions here somehow? That those inventions weren't his. Something like
No.
that. I don't know. Something's unsaid about
Um,
him.
so, some of them were. Some of them actually were his inventions, but the
Yeah, some
basis,
of them were. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
The basis for a lot of it is kind of the information he's known had stored up there, but he has done some genuine experimentation.
Hmm.
Actually, I feel Edison, his energy is kind of coming in a lot of his
Hmm. Yeah.
contributions.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
kind of he knew he had an idea who Tesla was,
Yeah.
and I think that's kind of what started. Like, he was not afraid to go on Tesla's turf because it was not a genuine.
Hmm.
He kind of understood in some way or another that Tesla was profiting off of other timelines, other uh, the future. So Edison himself kind of knew what was going on.
Hmm.
So he kind of backstepped in a way. He took the opportunity
Yeah.
that while Tesla wasn't looking.
Mm.
So while Tesla himself may have been borrowing from other timelines and such, um, universes and he may have been borrowing from the future, Edison kind of understood that and then piggybacked off Tesla in a way.
Yeah.
Tesla is a more advanced being in a way. He is kind of like
Yeah.
the Q being from Star Trek.
Hmm. Yeah.
It kind of feels like that.
No, neat.
Um, so yeah, Tesla does still kind of cheated by Edison, but Edison kind of felt like Tesla's cheating himself. So
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's like Tesla, like he brought inventions from the future and brought it to his human self
hmm
that weren't his. Mhm. Something like that,
yes,
you know. And I mean, like, there's the AC/DC fight,
yeah.
I think that was him, from what I can feel. But
I feel like actually that was
or yeah, that was
ATD, it was alien.
yeah,
A lot of the most basic information you had came from
yeah.
other sources, but he did kind of experiment on that.
But he was part of it. Yeah, he was involved with it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, he was involved in.
Yes.
He
I don't
even though
know.
he can't take all the credit, he still has some credit for it. He had to
Exactly. Exactly.
implement, he had to take the information
Yeah.
and put it in the
Yeah. You
project.
can't. Yeah. You can't take credit for everything. Yeah. That's the thing. It's just so bizarre.
It's shared credit, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Okay. Some of it went to Harp. At least that's conspiracy. The weather manipulation.
hmm hmm Um,
It's like.
actually, I think some of the technologies in Tampa.
Yeah. Jeez.
Oddly
Great.
enough, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Big surprise there, right?
yeah. Um,
Yeah. I'm feeling it every day.
like the Tesla coil somewhere in Tampa, or a large version of it, or something similar to it, and it's kind of putting off radio waves, electricity coming off of the into the future or into the future.
Makes sense.
Yeah, electrical waves that kind of radiate from Florida.
Hmm.
It even has some effect in Kentucky as far as reach and see. So it's pretty far-ranging technology. A lot of their electrical grids are quite complex themselves.
Hmm.
There's a lot of stabilizing it uh, at once. It's there are uh, tools that we may not know about quite so much yet that help to stabilize and power our electrical grid
Hmm.
uh, that are come from the future. So our electrical grid is actually quite futuristic.
Hmm. Really? Yeah, I guess so.
Mhm.
Also old.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but that's kind of paradox in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't. They haven't. I mean, Europe has a new. Some places in Europe have new electrical grid altogether, and we're still on the old grid.
Programming.
Imagine that'll change eventually. Yep. Yeah, the old programming.
I
You got
mean,
that all right.
you gotta think how America itself is kind of a prison country.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh, and there's lots of the old programming that has to be taken out before it can change.
Yeah. Yep.
America is not prone to change so easily.
Mm-mm. No.
Europe and Canada are that had less, more so Europe. But
Yeah. Well, Europe's been through it all.
yeah, yeah.
They've been, most of history is in Europe, so
Mhm.
they have to cut. You have to find the higher dimensions eventually.
Mhm.
What they've been through, so it makes sense.
Exactly. Uh, even though Canada itself is on most charges better than the United States in certain ways, they're still also part of the prison environment. The the New
Yeah.
World itself is largely a prison environment, and the U.S. is kind of ahead of it. So
Cool.
um, that's where a lot of the problems are coming in from in the United States.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about
Causing.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you want to go into policing
Yes.
next topic?
Well, we want to go into policing to discuss how the shifts will affect the policing. Um,
Yeah.
because a lot of their even the police themselves had some clones. Actually, a lot of the police dogs are clones, like the drug sniffing dogs are
Hmm.
cloned. Um, there is something with the genetics of the drug sniffing dogs, but or thumb sniffing dogs, it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But policing itself does operate off the same principle that a lot of your trafficking comes to. The police themselves are kind of the grunts of a much larger system, legal system. Um, they can't really operate. Um, well, they can operate in a negative sense all they want, to some degree. Depends on jurisdiction, but um, one sense.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them do the kind of the system does prevent them from doing what they want, what their soul wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there is also a lot of the Orion infestation or Orion influence in the police itself, particularly in your more reckless. A lot of the more reckless or hasty um, police numbers are tend to come from Orion itself, and seeing. Well, there's parts of Orion that are quite damaged, quite poor, and quite masculine. Like there's very little women to go around. Very little. Uh, like a lot of the outskirts of Orion tend to be largely filled with men. Uh, Not usually a safer place to run into the. And a lot of these Orion beings that kind of come from the cowboy world, so to speak, um, tend to manifest as police officers. Um, you'll see even the army has a higher duration than the police do in some instances.
Yeah. No.
Uh, Overall, the police, again, goes from individual to individual, but as an institution, and even the military has a higher duration. But it is works the same principle that it's almost like a Milgram test. That's the position you are as a police officer. Is you are continuously taking a no-gun test to see how much you will press the button. And so even some police officers will resist the test, and they will be more lenient or be more empathetic with people who did not intend harm. But there are others that are drawn to the occupation because it has that no-gun test relation to it. They are drawn to see how far it will take them. Um, and again, that is mostly your Orion influence.
Hmm.
Zeta tend to be higher ranking at least. They tend to be more of a calmer effect on it at least, whereas your reptilians and largely yes, reptilians tend to influence the police in a negative way. Those are the ones that want to take the no-gun test, so to speak. For those who don't know what I'm referring to, the no-gun test was you would have a volunteer pretending to get shocked, and you'd have the one being tested being told to press a button that delivers shock if the volunteer did something wrong, or did answer the question wrong. Um, I don't know the exact details on the top of my head, but basically the gist of it. One sec. Yes, there have been a lot of protests against the police as of late.
Mhm. So some of the detectives are Zeta beings.
A
And
lot of your higher ups are Zeta as well. There's lots of
yeah,
Zeta in the military as well.
yeah,
Zetas tend to be leaders of these groups.
yeah. Organization,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, scientists.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Um, Even like lieutenants or higher staff of the other police departments kind of have a lot of Zeta energy. Uh, 1 second. So with the shit cutting in the next few years, I do see a lot more of a slow clearance. Um, I'm seeing a lot of beings are actually very uncomfortable. A lot of Orion beings are quite uncomfortable these days, which are kind of driving these instances up. You have more shootings. Yes, a lot of these Orion beings are kind of not liking the new energy coming in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling like actual physical discomfort with the new libations coming in. The new
Mm-hmm.
hold on. They know they're being forced to. They don't really know where to go from here. They're kind of anxious to what the future holds, especially for them. Lots of physical manifestations of anxiety. The feeling that they're up against the wall. Uh, yes, a lot of your the police are in a weird situation again because they do work for some of the elites, and the police that started the front line for the elites as far as the new relation coming from these Orion beings.
Mm-hmm.
They carry the will of the elites, especially the reptilians, to cause chaos. Um, and these beings are the first ones to feel the heat, so to speak. They're going to be the first ones in line to feel the shift in the relation working against them. They are the first one to be put into the hot water. They take the brunt of the relational hit. And so they're feeling that right now. They're feeling the change coming, and that's manifesting a lot of anxiety, and I'm taking up strong amounts of like physical anxiety as well. 1 second. Uncertainty is another large factor.
Mm-hmm.
They will need healing, but I see them. A lot of them will have to go into different universe or different timelines. They'll have to be moved out of this world,
Mm-hmm.
or a different version of the Earth. They may be shifting out of the timeline. That they their only option is to move out of this timeline into, or move out of this world into a different one. Um, some of them may be healing, awakening, but those who are standing hard against awakening, there's lots of maybe a lot of heart attacks, a lot of strokes, a lot of diseases that come to them. But, and there will be some support to counteract that, but I do feel a lot more anxiety, a lot more of the potential health issues coming through these Orion or cops. Any questions?
Mm. Uh, about the forensics of the cop. I feel like wow, that's Anunnaki connected.
The forensics, what now?
The forensics, when they're looking for
Mm-hmm.
evidence, DNA, or is that Zeta, or is it both, or like Anunnaki energies?
The Justice Department has a lot of Anunnaki. Your
Mm-hmm.
judges to have some Anunnaki influence, but the actual science of it
Mm-hmm.
is a mixture of Zeta and AI beings.
Mm. Yeah, because it's in the computer. No.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Even like um, Nordics and Podlans, they have
Mm-hmm.
a greater aptitude for sciences.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even some lawyers as well, law profession.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm. Oh, speaking
what is
of
it? Sorry?
police, so there's like police planets or prison planets with police in Orion.
Uh, 1 second. Yes, there are. Um, I'm seeing it's very difficult to move out of those worlds when you're in a certain planet in Orion. It can be very difficult to get out of those environments. They even do cloning and even reanimating corpses there to have more prisoners. So your actual prison planets in Orion tend to keep their victims around. Uh, but the ones that I see that come to Earth tend to be a lot of your, I want to say almost like Western worlds or like Mad Max worlds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of where our Orion influence comes from. Is sort of the
Yeah,
um,
Martian Orion worlds. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of like Mad Max or
Mm-hmm.
Wild West imagery there.
What about Judge Dredd?
1 second. I need to look him up. I'm not familiar too much.
That's the He's the execution. He's a judge, executioner, and jury.
Definitely Martian imagery there. I actually see him. Yes, I see him on both on certain planets and on the the sort of Wild West or Mad Max cleanse as well. So he has
Yeah.
quite a tenure on in Orion.
Jeez.
I see him kind of I see him as an 8 being as well.
Yeah.
Um, like an 8 warden.
Hmm. It's almost a kangaroo.
What's that?
A kangaroo too.
Hmm.
They can be kind of aggressive.
Yeah, the kangaroo kind of sits in the background quite a bit.
Yeah. But they can cause some stuff.
Yeah, they can. But I see him kind of in both of the sort of Wild West desert planets as well as the pleasant planets, and some of them are the same. Some pleasant planets can be your Wild West or Mad Max style planets as well,
Mm-hmm.
or at least run that way. But they're not always strictly pleasant planets. Um,
So protest. Now we're going into. I think we already talked about this, but what do you see about the protests going into the election? It's kind of what we're talking about.
right. Protest to be like 1 second. I do see. I kind of thought that like a week before the election, you're not going to see much reporting on the protests so much.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that there won't be there still, but you'll see kind of a quieting of that uh, the protest energies. But protests I do see actually kind of dropping down potentially after the election.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Uh, although I do see and seeing Biden energy more so than Trump, so um, I could be part of it. But
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? See what
yeah,
happens.
I do see protests coming back up again around December or New Year's. Um, but around the election itself, I see a temporary drop in protest activity. Very temporary though, and yeah, or at least not reported that much. So we've had protests for months and months now, but
Yeah.
there's still the energy is only increasing.
Mm-hmm.
We may only get a small break, and even then the tension is not resolved. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's just taking a small break from them.
Yeah, we got one more month to the
Yeah.
election. It's about time. Get this over with.
Mm.
The cure for the plague comes to an end. Finally.
Mm. The plague is not going away for a while. It's still going to be
Waits for another, I think,
a
six
few
months
months.
into next year. I think 6 months into next year, I think.
I'm gonna like April, possibly.
Okay.
That's when it's gonna.
Yeah, so that's why I think this is all planned. Because like, I mean, why don't they just send another virus out while they're on it? Or two or three. It's like so that they kind of have a cap on that. What it
Hmm.
feels like. That tells you it's all engineered.
Yeah.
You know? So
Um. Particularly, I see Russia done into it too, but
yeah.
um.
What about New York City? What do you see happening to that?
Let me get the picture of it.
What is it? New York City going into the ruins, Are you gonna be visiting New York City and say, "Whoa, those were the days, weren't they?" Like
Mm, New York City.
New York City in the past tense won't be inhabitable anymore.
I do see it shrinking. Uh,
Definitely.
I do see parts of it quieting down. The some areas that are tend to be closed off.
Hmm.
It'll kind of feel like in the boroughs of New York and the areas around New York will feel like their own, sometimes their own states even. So you'll see kind of the fragmentation of the city. Or regions around the city. The area will be kind of fragmented. Like, you may go into the Bronx and think it's a new state.
Yeah.
um, or a different timeline. It's bringing information from everywhere. Um, but New York City, I do not shut it. I don't see them shutting down for real anytime soon. But there will be a sort of a change. Yes.
I don't feel like bankruptcy, but man, it seems like they might get close to it.
Hmm. I do see just a difference in identity. You'll have your
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's clearing out the old energies, it's kicking
Hmm.
it out, and it's renewing itself.
Well,
So
it's even having a hard time. Like I see its energy shrinking in the
yeah.
places like the outskirts of like the islands are kind of shrinking, and parts of it are still kind of being dealt with part of the time. It's
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh no. Let's check out.
You may see New York City become almost the new Atlantis at some point, but for now it's being shut down. But I do see the potential timeline where it does heal and actually grow, and even to plant San Francisco.
Do you see it like a Babylon? You see New York as Babylon?
At the moment, in a way,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But I see New York becoming as sort of like the new San Francisco,
Hmm.
like the new Atlantean
Yeah.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, but it might take a couple of years, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
It might clean it up. It might be actually safe there,
Exactly.
which would be good.
It just gotta parts of it have to be shut down,
Hmm.
and then opened up slowly and cleaned up. You may see some protests there, but yeah, it's going to take a rough few years to New
Hmm.
York City to get it act up.
Yeah, 2 years. Well, probably 1 2 years, but it might take two
Exactly. Yeah.
years. It might take 2 years for it to clean it out what needs to go,
Exactly.
and then it has a rebirth. So,
Mhm.
jeez, it's quite a place at the moment. So,
Uh, I do see like a Anunnaki, almost like a craft inside at one of the buildings in New York.
that was interesting.
Like it's hiding. Like
I can,
the craft itself is acting as a building somewhere.
I can feel when it's above New York City. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so
Um.
huge.
Yes.
What about the virus? I mean, you see that? You think it's all that? I think it's really it's transferring to people like they say it is. I mean, they're kind of over exaggerating a lot of it to
The
protect them.
virus.
Yeah.
Mm,
They're getting everything shut down. Everybody's stay home. I mean, they're kind of overdoing it a little bit. What do you think about that?
um. It's really hard to say. Um. I do. I kind of feel they're not really sure on it.
Yeah.
I feel one party the party, the one side that wants us to be slaves, wants us to open things back up again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm not really feeling either party too much as a. Honestly, is the what I'm feeling like. It's kind of a two-pronged approach. It's here to cause chaos first and
Yes.
foremost.
It's doing that.
So if you close things down,
Yeah.
people
That's,
will not be dying quite as much, and it'll be easy to control the virus.
yeah.
But you're still going to have chaos to cut to that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Well, the
mm-hmm.
other side is antagonizing the one that wants to shut the things down. But if you open things up right away, of course you're going to have more death. Um,
Yeah.
so again, it's polarizing people. The issue itself is not one side trying to cause chaos. It's both sides being used as tools to cause chaos.
I mean, like
Um,
cars kill people all the time, but I don't see the government trying to fix that.
mm-hmm.
They don't give a shit. So they don't care. I mean, because a whole industry. It's created a whole industry of people getting injured. So, so anyway,
Exactly.
well, we'll figure this out eventually.
But again, there is sort of a two-pronged approach. That's how a lot of our politics is controlling us. Is two sides seem to be at each other's throats or opposite, but at the same time, there's kind of a
Mhm.
two-pronged approach. Um, it's two sides created equally, used to get each other to divide people or cause chaos. The virus itself could even be healed in a few months if you wanted to, if they wanted it to.
Yeah,
But they're keeping it here because it's just an attention sink.
yeah,
It drives people crazy. That's what it's
still,
there for.
yeah, mission accomplished.
So the virus could be cured within a few months. But, they're not going to have that easily. They hadn't had much of their fun yet.
Yeah, yeah, there's still they have it. Yeah, yep.
I see Russia attached to this as well.
Hmm. Oh, really? Great.
Yeah,
Like sending it out or creating it, help contribute to its invention, getting
not
it banned.
the virus itself, but the political aspect. They're trying to pump out people wanting to
Hmm.
keep things closed and
Hmm.
people who are, skeptical.
Hmm.
So in part, they are sending the skeptics as well as the ones that are dead serious about the virus.
Yeah.
It's creating chaos and disagreements that it's diverting our energies. So if we focused on say meditations or bringing the shift in clearing out the virus, to focused on it not paying attention to the division and not paying attention to the politics of it, but we
Hmm.
focused on you could say meditation groups or prayer groups, um, focused on clearing this thing out, we could get much farther. That as there is a lot of energy that's running Rothschild, creating blockages that stop us from getting anywhere. You have
All right,
two diametrically opposed streams that are making it hard to cross into healing.
all right. We're gonna close her out. Anything else before we get going?
Um, 1 second, let's see if there's anything to say. The trees and the same. I think a lot of your older trees, your hardwood trees, you might say, your deciduous trees, they tend to have a lot more experience and a lot more wisdom. And they tend to not be influenced quite as easily as others. So some trees are more easily to corrupt than others, or some more complicit within the negative agendas. Um, but it seems like your oaks, maples, and those tend to have a higher vibration. Not all of them, but I mean, some of the oaks are really, really dark. But in a general sense, the older a tree is, the more experience, the more it has time to either heal or go down the darker path. Because like, the trees can kind of help you with the trees themselves. They release information all the time. You may not notice when you're breathing fresh air, you're going outside, you're breathing in information that's getting from the trees. They are sort of like the natural internet by releasing different chemicals and information. They are your internet of the natural world. Um, in fact, the internet itself kind of came from trees. Like the idea, it kind of came from like a tree world or a tree species. So it's connected to the trees. Um, you could use that with permission to help send a vibration to healing the coronavirus. You can work with the trees in that sense to help heal coronavirus. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. See if there's a message for you. Or,
Sure.
I don't know. Just I feel like you're connected to a lot of AI beings in Orion. I saw a giant spider. I don't know if you were the spider or been attacked by the spider. Actually, a giant spider shows up in a movie. I forget the name of the movie, but anyway. But yeah, just insectoid robots you're aware of.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that something. I also see a mechanical Abraham Lincoln they just showed me.
Huh.
That's different.
Yeah.
On another world as we speak is what it says. So
Wow.
looks like you're also repairing it too, from what I'm getting. I just saw an image of that. So I'll see Pamela Anderson there too.
Wow.
This gets better and better.
Do you see anything in regards to like a desert planet or like a desert planet connected to a Garth-like world?
Uh, the one with the spider, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Abraham Lincoln, I think it's more of a society like ours, more like a technological advanced society.
Mm.
That's a mechanical Abraham Lincoln walking around.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Because I had a meditation in Orion, and it took me to like a desert world where I think a past life version of myself was
Yeah,
like a statue, a giant statue.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I see as a mad scientist in Orion. Maybe
Mm.
not your typical. I see you as a scientist working on experiments of all
Mm.
kinds. In the lab's all falling apart.
Yeah.
Something like that's neat. Lab coat. I don't know what you're doing, but they just showed me that. That's cool.
Mm.
So, I don't know. That was all cryptic. Anyway, all right. Thank you. All right.
Blessings, everyone.
All right. Take care. Thank you. Thank you.